The new electric Porsche, what you should know. We are quickly moving toward a new kind of mobility for the future, and Porsche hasn't been left behind. Porsche has created vehicles ranging from high-performance sports cars to SUVs and even sedans that have astounded both their customers and non-customers. It appears that this German automaker is working on a new model. When did they make this mind-blowing new model exactly? What does it look like? And when do they intend to make it available? Stay tuned and don't touch that dial. We've probably seen more electric cars on the road than ever before, with EVs of all kinds looking like the way we'll all get around in short to medium term. With so many EV designs available, it's no surprise that many car companies developed EV concepts, but some never saw the light of day. Porsche is one company that has done just that. Before we get into the new masterpiece that Porsche wants to release to the world, let's look at Porsche's history as a company. The Porsche company has devoted countless hours to creating cars they think their customers will enjoy since it was founded in 1931. With time, these cars have evolved into modern, technologically sophisticated machines that are even more exciting to look at and drive. Initially, Ferdinand Porsche, the company's founder, only provided consulting and development services for automobiles. He never produced any under his name. The German government gave Porsche one of its first projects as a brand new automaker, creating a car for the masses. The Volkswagen Beetle, one of the most popular car designs ever, was made possible. The German automaker used many Beetle parts to create the Porsche 64 later in 1939. The car company developed numerous heavy tank designs during World War II. Still, it was outbid by Henschel and Son in both of the contracts that eventually gave rise to Tiger 1 and 2. Contrary to popular belief, their efforts didn't go to waste because the Porsche-designed Tiger 1 chassis served as the basis for the Elephant tank destroyer. In the final stages of the war, Porsche also created two prototypes of the Maus super heavy tank. Following the production of the Porsche 356 car in post-war Germany, Porsche developed a greater interest in producing and marketing non-military vehicles. However, the Porsche 356 stopped production in 1964, when the sports car that launched the company's identity and became synonymous with it was produced. We are referring to the Porsche 911. The 911 has grown to be the brand's most recognizable model and has enjoyed sales success in road cars, racetracks, and rallies. Before Porsche's first stock offering to the public in 1984, several models, including the 912, 914, 924, and 928, were developed as 911 replacements. The 944 followed, but 44 years later, the 911 is still the company's flagship model. Since Wendelin Whiteking took over as the company's CEO in 1992, he has canceled the first Panamera's four-door model in development and vowed unequivocally that they will always be a sports car company. The declaration was viewed as a step in the right direction, and others quickly followed. Wendelin modernized the company's development and production by cutting management, buying unions, and enlisting the help of the Japanese Shingijutsu consultancy. He was able to raise pre-tax profit, and today, Porsche is regarded as having the highest profit margins in the sector. Later, Wendelin concluded that sports cars weren't sufficient to shield the German automaker from volatile currency exchange rates, cynical customer demands, or a takeover by one of the larger rivals. To the dismay of many sports car fans, he reached an agreement with VW and Audi in the late 1990s for the joint development of a sports utility vehicle. One of the fastest-selling Porsche vehicles, the Cayenne, was introduced in 2002. While some may argue that the German automaker has been largely focused on the types of vehicles it wants to produce, the fact that this new Porsche isn't quite what we've come to expect from the brand begs the question of when the concept for it first surfaced. A stunning electric van and other concepts were among the vehicles the German automaker unveiled in 2020. These were all contained in a book titled Porsche Unseen. This featured some renderings of cars that were just design studies made between 2005 and 2009, some of which had already been made into models, but many of which had never been built. The electric van being discussed in this video, the Porsche Vision Radiance, was one of the most unique and eye-catching concepts in the Porsche scene. According to the manufacturer, this electric van was developed in 2018 as a one-to-one concept model with a family-friendly space and a seating capacity of up to 6 people. The electric van was never made public after it was finished. Its images were only made public in November 2020. Now, let's take a look at the specs. The electric van of the Porsche Vision Radiant featured a central driver's seat, with the electric powertrain units mounted beneath the floor, as is common with many electric vehicles. Unfortunately, that was all the German automaker would reveal about the van's technical specs, as it never made it past the rolling prototype stage. Let's take a look at the car's design. When this van was announced in 2020, the company released images that featured a red van that could be seen in some pictures parked next to an old VW camper van transport. This was probably viewed as a sign of the source of design inspiration for the German automaker's electric van, the Porsche Vision Radiance. One of the most impressive design ideas to ever come from the company, it did have a retro feel to it. Porsche promised plenty of room for the driver and passengers inside, along with Porsche-like flair to make the journey as pleasurable as possible. This raises the following query: what should you anticipate from a vehicle of this type? The German automaker wanted to see how its design language would work with an entirely new segment of cars, in this case, the electric van segment. So that's the simple explanation for why they created a vehicle like this. Any design language they use for the van is quite distinctive, as expected. It would stand out compared to other vehicles in the current lineup, like the Taycan, Cayenne, and Macan. We have looked at the design, but what does the interior look like? The company presumably released some interior shots of the van as proof that more could be on the way from the Porsche Vision Radiance electric van. Inside, Porsche stated that there would be plenty of space for the driver and passenger and a Porsche-like flair to make the journey as enjoyable as possible. The central driving position is one major feature that takes your breath away, demonstrating how daring the company was with this vehicle styling. The vehicle was designed to be self-driving, but many of us would like to drive it ourselves. However, there is more to the central driver's seat than meets the eye. The central driver's seat of the electric van appeared to be a concept based on the van's motorsports origins. Still, Porsche's chief designer Michael Maurer explained that it was more of a way to give this autonomous van a more Porsche-like driving experience. With this central driving position, the driver can completely concentrate on the road ahead, much like a race car driver. When autonomous, the driver can turn around to face the passengers. The cockpit also has a mix of digital and analog controls, with Markus Auerbach, the head of interior design, stating that haptic buttons in the vehicle cockpit are ideal because you don't have to take your eyes off the road. Larger display panels are presumably the electric van's infotainment units on each driver's side. The van's interior view shows that only the left side of the rear cabin lacks side windows, while the right side has a more traditional rectangular window. The idea is that the passenger can enjoy the quiet, low-light privacy on the left side while enjoying the passing view on the right side. The rear cabin center row also has two independent seats. When no one is sitting in the third row of seats, the company installed a floating headrest so the driver could look out the back window. According to Porsche's chief designer, Michael Maurer, they considered how to give a distinctly Porsche flair to a passenger compartment that is so far removed from the classic sports car interior, as well as how autonomous driving could be designed. He also stated that they would be drawing inspiration for this electric van from the Taycan. The German automaker is not the first to reveal an electric van concept, as Volkswagen has revealed the ID Buzz and the Canoo MPDV, to name a few. Regardless, Porsche appears to want in on the action, but there's no word on whether this vehicle will be commercially available. While the autonomy of the van is likely to be a source of contention, there is no denying how stunning the Radiance concept is and how exciting it would be to see it put into production. The entire Porsche Unseen segment provided an intriguing insight into the minds of the designers and Porsche. If the autonomy aspect is removed, this van could very well be something that proves very popular if Porsche ever wanted to put it into production. This has to be one of the coolest concept cars of the modern era. So, how do you feel about the Porsche Vision Radiance electric van? Do you like the way it looks? And how much do you think it will cost once production begins? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. That concludes this video. That's all we had in store for you. Thanks a lot for watching the video. Until the next one, peace, I am out.